In the last episode of Low Budget Motorcycle Camping Adventure, Gary and I rolled out of camp on the Animas River, rolled through Silverton and down Highway 550, also known as the $1 Million Highway. But that episode is exclusive for my coffee supporters, the people that keep putting gas in my motorcycle to make sure I continue on my venture, and you can find that link down below. But we continued up 550 north into the town of Montrose. I ordered a tire for the rear of my motorcycle and got a tip from the shop owner about where to camp. So we rolled up into the National Forest and BLM, just a few miles outside of Montrose, towards Utah, and the elevation change was about 2,200 feet, and you could tell as we started climbing this hill here that it was much cooler up the hill than it was down in Montrose. It wasn't really that hot, but it got into the 90s several days in Montrose, and it was probably mid 80s on the hottest day up here. But we were going to camp up here just over a week and wait for my tire and recuperate and just enjoy the pinions that we were hanging from outside of Montrose, Colorado. We did experiment by going further up the mountain to try something a little bit cooler, but decided it was going to be too cold, and there was no Wi-Fi up there.
No. So let's go up here another mile, see if we got internet. If not, we'll go back down. It's gonna get cold up here too. I don't know if you noticed, it wasn't really hot once we got up past those cars that were pulled off. One more mile. I don't think it's gonna change, but I figure since we're up here.
And of course, it did not change, but we got to ride up into the Aspens, and you can cross that mountain all the way into eastern Arizona and eventually into Utah if you want. It's some nice riding up here, and here we are going back down into can't remember the name of this, but it's a dry creek bed, and you can see I guess when it rains it really does wash out everything. So this is over to the left and the right here as we go around this turn is a dry creek bed. There is nothing in there except some big tall trees. The trees don't really get that tall at this elevation, except where there's water, and I'm sure you could probably get in this creek bed and dig down far enough, you probably find some water. Flowing is just not on top where you can have access to it. But this was probably just less than a mile from where we wound up camping. As we're going up the road to the top here, there's another turn off to the left that we're going to take here in a minute, and it's a rim road, and it goes, Gary says it goes down into the canyon eventually, but yeah, it's just a beautiful spot. The weather looked like this just about every day, but also there was quite a few storms that came through because this is the Colorado monsoon season. So I'm learning a lot about Colorado. Usually, I keep telling people, I don't come into Colorado till later in the summer, middle to end of August. By that time, the monsoons are typically over. You still get rain, but it's not every day like we're seeing here. And this is Rim Road here, just outside of Montrose. And this is actually Highway 90 that we just turned off of that goes over into Nucla, Colorado, and more desert. But yeah, this is a really cool spot. I had pretty good access, Wi-Fi access. Gary has AT&T, so not so AT&T, but not so much internet. But yeah, so we had a couple of visitors join us at this camp. One of them liked it so much he came back twice. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about most of that, but one of our first visitors, you may remember Garrett Peterson. He stomped through all these mud holes on his 50cc Chinese piece of crap scooter that he's driving from coast to coast. and he just enjoys working on machines so much that he got the worst piece of crap he could find. It was brand new, and good story. His Instagram crowd helped him fund his little adventure. I really like that idea. He inspired so many people about driving some piece of crap scooter from coast to coast that people pitched in and said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll throw some money." So we rolled out of Silverton this morning, and I think there was some weather coming in, so it's good to be out of there. Getting kind of cold, staying kind of wet, getting kind of dusty. I'm still coughing, probably because there was a lot more dust than I could see. But back when I saw it a couple days ago, when it didn't rain all day, it was like, oh geez, that's a lot of dust. And I saw it on my tarp, so I'm glad to be out of Silverton. There's just too many freaking side-by-sides. So we came up to Montrose to get a tire, get resupplied, and just find another place to soak up some sun and get a little bit warmer. And this is the place. It's going to be 95 down in Montrose this week. But we're up about, I don't know, 1,500 feet, 2,000 feet above Montrose. So it's nice and cool up here, especially when you get out of the sun. But yeah, check out this nasty road that I made Gary ride up. And I came around the corner, I was like, ooh, this might be a little bit tricky for Gary if maybe he doesn't keep his momentum, because he can't touch flat-footed. So anyway, it's kind of a gnarly road. But yeah, we made it up and found this a great camp spot. This is freaking amazing. But I got to Montrose to pick up a package, got my new tarp. This thing is amazing. 13 foot long Superfly to replace my Superfly I've had for the last 12 years. Starting to get little pinholes in it, starting to need repairs a lot. And I talked to the guys out at War Bonnet, and they were excited to see that one of their old tarps was still flying. So anyway, I talked them into sending me a new one, and I'm really excited. I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, we just came up the hill, and luckily we got Wi-Fi, we got sun, and we got shade, most importantly, because it does get hot up here. I think it's probably in the mid 80s if you're in the sun. But all you got to do is step into one of these holes in the pinions, which we just made us a little nice cubby hole in here, and it's paradise. So it's 85 degrees out here in the sunlight. Step in the little cubby hole in there, it's like, I don't know, it feels like 72. It feels almost like walking into an air-conditioned room. But I'll show you that in just a second. Gary's bike, my back tire, which is almost showing threads. I ordered my tire today. It should be here Tuesday. This is Thursday, so we got 4 days to hang out. Pretty good camp. There's Gary's pillow drying out. There's all this firewood that we're really tempted to maybe have us a small fire where nobody notices. And there's my awful, almost threadbare tire. Let's see if there's any. Yeah, you can see the color has changed. That's bad. That's always bad when you see a color change on your tire. That means that the normal rubber is gone, and the next thing you see is threads coming up. Well, almost feel it. Anyway, there's Gary watching videos. How about this cubby hole? Step out of the way and show everybody this fine little cubby hole we've got with the two havens. Somebody had come in here and chopped all these branches off, which is what we need. We need to be able to get into the tree, connect to the trees without tearing everything up. So somebody came in and we just had to take a couple branches off. But yeah, it's a nice little cubby hole. What do you think? 85 out there in the sun. What do you think it's in here?
Yeah, mid 80s.
Mid 80s, and you step in here in the cool.
Here, I want to say probably about 73.
That's what I said. I said 72.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really nice in here, and it's, you know, it's like we got everything set up. We can't be made to do anything except sit down and watch videos and drink beer. So
that's it.
We already started on the beer, and yeah, it's just nice and cool. It's like being in your living room. You know, it's a nice little breeze. Occasionally there's a jet flying about 40,000 feet, and that's the only noise out here besides the wind.
That's the only annoyance.
It's yeah, no flies, no bugs, no critters, no people, no side-by-sides. My God, if I had to, I think I was going to go on a killing spree if I had to hear another freaking razor come by.
It's been nice not hearing anything.
Yeah, so no dust, no nothing. It's just great. We're just here nice and quiet, and it's just me and Gary farting. That's it.
That's it.
Elvis has arrived. Fuck, man, I didn't know you were gonna make it today. We got gin. We got a big. We're only half a bottle in, so it's got a big bottle. So
that's good with me. I'm gonna need to get fucking drunk because tomorrow's gonna be a long day.
Where are you heading tomorrow?
Trying to make it to Durango. I'm trying to hitchhike down there.
Hitchhike
the scooter down there.
Then that's next time. So make sure you don't miss the next episode where we hang out with Garrett Peterson, the rock star riding across America on a 50cc scooter. And we also have another guest that shows up to camp with two sophisticated gentlemen. But that's coming up. See you next time.